Oh my lord. Okay, I am just literally speechless. What did I just watch? Speechless. Just absolutely speechless. Now, I'm going to go on Tampa's side for a second. I want to tell a couple of stories because so much happened today before this game. My lord. On Tampa's side, this is probably, and I watched every single game, or almost the majority of their games, last year in their playoff run to the Stanley Cup. And those were some of the most complete, most dominant games I've ever seen. But nothing, literally nothing, is even on a remote level from any game last game is anything remotely close to how dominant they were this game. Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. This was insane. From the very second the puck dropped to the very second that horn blared, they dominated this game. They gave the Islanders nothing. Literally nothing. And I mean, look, they do have 21 shots, but you know what? A lot of those shots are from the points, and they're from very wide, and some of them are even from the red line. So they're easy Vasilevsky saves. It's just insane how the Bolts played this game. And if you're the Islanders, you gotta be hella worried for Game 6, because you could even lose someone pretty important. So let's get into the game. Before I go into a couple of stories. I'll talk about a couple throughout. Starting goaltenders were Vasilevsky and Varlamov. Those would change. Chernak was out, and Luke Shen is in. And he made an immediate impact. There was a Hedman shot that was stopped by Semyon Varlamov. And then Stamkos scores. His 6th of the playoffs from Killorn and Cirelli makes it 1-0 just like that. And then there was a Braden Point backhand that went wide. That was a 1-0. Literally right after 1-0. And then for a little bit, it was back and forth neutral zone. For a tiny little bit, it was, it was pretty easy. And then Yanni Gourde scores. His 4th of the playoffs from literally no one makes it 2-0. And then there's Ross Colton and Tyler Johnson chances who were stopped by Varlamov. Which, by the way, look at how Ross Colton has made himself on this playoff roster. Unbelievable. Kucherov, there was a Kucherov opportunity that was broken up by Mayfield. If that puck wasn't broken up, it probably would have been 9-0. Honestly. There was a Cirelli chance that was stopped by Varlamov. You have Varlamov's and Sorokin's name a lot in here. There was a Pajot shot that was stopped by Vasilevsky. Basically the first and one of the only chances that the Islanders really had in this game. That's just me being honest with you. And then Killorn scores. His 7th of the playoffs from David Savard makes it 3-0. And Varlamov's out. Sorokin is in. And this is just, oh my god. And they pulled Varlamov at 3-0, and they had no idea what was coming next. There was the first Sorokin save was from a Tyler Johnson shot. And then there was a Gourde shot that was also stopped by Sorokin. And that pretty much did it for the first period. 3-0 after 1. There was 19 shots and 9 odd man rushes for Tampa, if I'm correct. Just in that first period alone. Over the course of the game, there was 40 shots, and there's probably 30, maybe even 40 odd man rushes for Tampa. It was a horrible game by the Islanders. Horrible. There was multiple Islanders chances that hit the post at the start of that second period, and really, that was it. Those were really the only chances that the Tampa gave them, and they blew it. There was a penalty for Brock Nelson for hooking. They took way too many penalties. The New York Islanders. They took way too many. If they're gonna win Game 6, no penalties, not one. You can't give Tampa anything at all. There was a Hedman shot that hit Sorokin's head. They analyzed him for a little bit. He turned out to be fine. Or maybe he wasn't because he let in however many goals after. And then Stamkos gets another one. His 7th of the playoffs from Victor Hedman and Nikita Kucherov makes it 4-0 Tampa. And then Cal Clutterbuck gets a penalty for interference. And then Palmieri gets a penalty for tripping. So it's 5-on-3 for a little bit. Both of them were killed off. There was 10 shots at, I think, 5 minutes left in the second period for the Islanders. 10. And the fact that the Tampa Bay Lightning held the Islanders to that many shots through that amount of time is unbelievable. It's just insane how they did. And then Andre Palat scores, and he makes it 5-0. And I'm like, all right, well, that's the game. No, it didn't end after that. Martin would then fight Luke Shen. For filling in for Chernak, he did a pretty damn good job at it. I'll give that to him. There was a penalty on John Gabriel Pageau for tripping, and it turned into a power play goal. Alex Killorn scored that one, his 8th of the playoffs, 2nd of the night, makes it 6-0. And I'm like, yeah. Penalty for McDonough and tripping, and the Isles couldn't even get a shot. It's 7-0, or not 6. It's 6-0 at the time, and you can't even get a shot on a power play. Unbelievable. They wouldn't even shoot it. It was like I was watching the Flyers. Like, this game was like Flyers versus Rangers. It's just really funny. There was a scruffle at the end of the period because of a Barzal just hitting Ruda. Like, what the heck are you doing, Barzal? And their play went under review, and he got a misconduct and a 5-minute major for fighting, or a 5-minute major for the hit, not for fighting. There was fighting in this game, but not that. And yeah, that could be a suspension. If we hear that Barzal got suspended however many games tomorrow, it's over. Honestly, I feel like that's it. That's the end of the playoff run for the Islanders. And it sucks because it looks like after Game 4, it looked like this series is up for grabs. Now I just feel like Tampa's not going to let off the gas, and they're probably going to play like this, if not better, if that's possible, in Game 6. So, honestly. And then that was it for the second period, and it's 6-0. And so much stuff has happened in the first and second that it took up 1.5 pages. So the third period took up the rest of that page, and then a little bit in the next page. Unbelievable. This game was filled with events. Third period, you start off with a goal by Braden Point. His 13th. We'll get into some stuff about him later. Kucherov and Stamkos get the assists. And yeah, 8 straight playoff games with a goal. Only Reggie Leach, Philadelphia Flyers legend, by the way, has more. Who was an underrated goal scorer back when my grandfather used to watch him. My grandfather told me that himself. So, you know, I said last season, Braden Point got robbed of the Conn Smythe, and it looks like now they're going to. Looks like now they could very well be in the Stanley Cup Finals for the second straight year, and potentially win it for a second straight year. So it's definitely a possibility that Point gets it this year. But you know, and then Tampa, they were just not stopping. Remind you, it's 7-0, and they're not stopping. They kept pressuring Sorokin with chances. It was nonstop. There was a Pulick shot that hit Jordan Eberle, and Eberle got it checked out for a little bit. Yeah, Pulock is brutal when it comes to his shot. I think it's over 100 miles an hour. Yeah, that's brutal. At best, it's 100 miles an hour. There was a Palat chance that was stopped by Sorokin, and then Luke Shen scores from Maroon and Colton, and they make it 8-0, and that pretty much did it. Tampa kind of ragged the puck a little bit. It was like I was watching CPU versus CPU NHL 21, which ironically I have playing right here because I do that because I'm a nerd. And it was just funny. And then there was a Gaudreau cross-check on Cizikas, which caused a scruffle. And I literally just wrote in, like, capitalized text. I said, get on with the game already, because they were literally just, like, there sorting out the penalties for probably 5 minutes. And, like, there's, like, almost no time left. I'm like, get it done. I want to go to bed. Although I'm not going to go to bed for, like, another 2 hours. But, you know. There was a penalty on Gaudreau for that cross-checking. That was killed off. And then my final piece of writing before we get on to the post-game, which I didn't really put too much in this because, yeah. This was probably by far the worst Islanders game I've ever seen. And the funny thing is, today, you know, I'm always looking to grow the collection, whether it's jerseys, shirts, hats, pennants, anything. And today I got 2 shirts, and I'm gonna order a hat tomorrow. Well, I ordered the shirts. I ordered a Defend the Coast Hurricanes t-shirt because my Hurricanes t-shirt is not the best t-shirt in the world, so I figured it'd be good to have another one. And then I also ordered a conference finals one for this year, where it's New York and Tampa. So, and now tomorrow, guess what hat I'm going to order? An Islanders hat, because I don't have an Islanders hat. And if I'm correct, based off of my nerdy statistics, I'm pretty sure that hat will be the 23rd hat in my collection. So, fun fact. But yes, this is just the worst Islanders game I've ever seen. The worst. And I've seen a lot. I saw a lot of their games last year, and I know Flyers last round. We're not going to talk about it. Anyways, and then I saw their games this season. They were rough towards the end. I've seen them be very bad towards the end, have some very, very bad games. But I don't think anything compares to this. And look, I know you're going to say, oh, that one game from 1994 where they lost 16-0 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think that happened. Maybe it's Lemieux. But no, I've been watching since 2018. I haven't really watched that many Islanders games, especially before last season. But yeah, this was by far the worst game I've ever seen. And then Tampa, at the end of the game, they said this was the biggest team win by goals. Of course, their biggest team wins are their first Stanley Cup and their last Stanley Cup wins in Game 6 and Game 7. But this was the biggest win by majority of goals in their postseason history. And I don't blame them. This was unbelievable. So final score is 8-0 Tampa. The shots were 40-21 in favor of Tampa. Penalties 0-for-1 New York, 3-for-6 Tampa. The hits were 41-40 in favor of Tampa. So, unbelievable game. Tomorrow will be Montreal and Vegas. We will cover that tomorrow. The game reveal will go up at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. 7 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. And, yeah, if you're the Islanders, I don't know what you're going to do. If we find out that Barzal got suspended tomorrow, they're screwed. That's it. I feel like they're done after that. So thank y'all for watching. For our support, I really do appreciate it. Thank you for supporting the last video today. Do appreciate that as well. I have some stuff planned tomorrow, so we're gonna see what video I decide to make. And yeah, thank y'all for watching, for your support, and I will see you guys in the next video.